Yo, book nerds, I finished reading It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is the second and final book in this duology. It comes after It Ends With Us, and yes, you should read this book after reading the first one because it will spoil things if you read them out of order. I know the titles might make you think, oh, that this is some kind of prequel, but it's not a prequel. It is definitely a sequel to It Ends With Us. So, how did I feel about It Starts With Us? I did not feel like a sequel was needed when I finished the first book. Overall, I have kind of mixed feelings. Overall, positive feelings. I thought it was a decent book. I understand why some people might feel this is unnecessary. Not a whole lot really happens, let's be honest. Nothing really surprised me, but I did enjoy being with these characters again, and the emotions that are portrayed were very realistic. Colleen Hoover's writing is so easy to just kind of fall into. It's very bingeable. It was so easy to just dive right in, and I finished this book so quickly. So overall, it was a satisfying read. Not necessarily necessary, but it was good. This book is a little different than the first one. In the first one, you are just following Lily. You're just in her perspective. In this book, you jump back and forth between Lily's POV and Atlas's POV. So it's nice to kind of have a peek inside of Atlas's head now. And I thought that was a good choice Colleen Hoover made to kind of deepen this story. Sometimes I do feel that Colleen Hoover was a little bit too on the nose with her messaging and the themes of this book. Sometimes she kind of gets a little, not preachy necessarily, but she kind of beats you over the head sometimes with her messages, and it's I get it. You can trust the reader to understand what you're going for here, but again, her writing is just so easy that it didn't really bother me. The messaging was just obvious. It was okay, I get what you're saying. You don't have to say it so many times. Overall, though, like I said, I enjoyed the book. It is definitely not as triggering as the first book. There's still some things in here that could be triggering, but it is much more of a love story than a drama or a thriller, or however you would classify the first book. This is much more of a love story, I would say. Much calmer than the first book. So what is this story about? I should probably tell you, right? So if you don't know, this book literally picks up right where the first one ends. And so you are following Lily and Atlas and their revival of their relationship and navigating how they're going to make it work with Ryle still around, because Lily and Ryle have to co-parent, right? So navigating co-parenting while starting a new relationship and navigating jealousy and things like that. And it was a really good book, portraying those emotions. If you saw my first video, you know that I had a very personal reaction to the first book, and I still had very personal reactions to this book. I felt the emotions were very real, very realistic to what I've experienced in my life, and I thought it was well written. So now I want to dive into some spoiler talk, not very much, but just I will be talking about the ending and things leading up to it, so be aware, but spoiler alert. So Atlas owns 2 restaurants now, and there's somebody vandalizing these restaurants, and I called this twist right away. I called that Atlas is going to have some long-lost sibling that's vandalizing his restaurants, and I was right. That storyline I felt was a little unnecessary, but it was all right. I didn't dislike Josh as his half-brother. Josh was a good character. It really brings out some emotions in Atlas that are fun to see. It wasn't really necessary to the story, but it was it was a good plot line, I think. Predictable, but good. That plot line also just like solidified that these books made me feel like I'm reading about my own life, because from the first book, I was comparing Atlas to my fiance Taylor, and like the way he makes me feel, the way Atlas makes Lily feel, just safe and loved and respected. And this book solidified that too, with the fact that Josh comes along and Atlas finds out he has a sibling he didn't know anything about. Taylor had found out as an adult that he had a sister that he knew nothing about. So like that's just another like random thing that makes me feel like Colleen Hoover was writing about my life. But anyway, that's just a side note. But like I had a lot of comparisons between my fiance and Atlas, which is good, right? Which is good, because I was rooting for him the whole way. I wanted them to end up together. But anyway, let's get back to the book. There was some things that I thought were relatable as a mom. There was a line where Lily's talking about like her crazy schedule, how she cherishes her Sunday mornings because they're kind of lazy and relaxed. And that's because the line goes, you lose your mornings after having children. And that's so true. Like mornings are so chaotic most of the time, getting ready for work, getting ready for school, getting ready for daycare, whatever you have going on. Like it's just like go, 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 go. And before I had kids, like, oh my gosh, I'd wake up, I'd have a cup of coffee, I might read a little bit before going to work. Like you don't have that anymore once you have kids. Like you do lose your mornings after having children. Like it just was relatable. There was another relatable parenting line. Lily's daughter is in the car just chilling, and Lily is looking at her in the rearview mirror. They're parked, and she's just like looking at her in the rearview mirror. And it says, I look in my rearview mirror, and Emmy is just sitting peacefully looking out the window at the rain. She has no idea the kind of chaos that surrounds her existence, because to her, I'm her entire existence. Every ounce of her trust is in me. She depends on me for everything, and she's just sitting there happily and comfortable, as if I have it all under control. I don't feel like I have it under control, but the fact that she assumes I do is good enough for me. And man, if that isn't parenting all wrapped up in a few lines, like my kids think I've got it all together. I don't have it all together. I'm faking it. Like the fact that they think I'm a functioning adult, holy crap, what are we doing for real? But like that is so relatable as a parent. Like I always think like, when am I going to have this figured out? When am I going to feel like a full-grown adult? I'm starting to believe that that's just a lie, and I never will. But my kids think that I've got it all handled. They think I have everything under control when I don't feel like I ever do. So relatable. Other things that were relatable, I mean, when Ryle finds out about Lily and Atlas, Ryle's jealousy, like he explodes. And when I started seeing Taylor and my ex-husband found out about it, like those emotions, that jealousy, trying to co-parent, walking on eggshells, like it was so realistic to my own experience. It's hard, it's complicated. You don't want to give up your happiness to appease someone who hurt you and disrespected you, and yet it's so easy to just like not want to poke the bear, but yet you kind of have to sometimes if you want your happiness. And it just like it was so realistically portrayed for me. I do feel like the end of this book drags on too long. The resolution could have been summed up a little more. You go so slow at the end. You know they're gonna end up together. They're moving in together. They're getting married. Like you get it. Like I felt like, okay, I don't need to see all of this. I know it's gonna happen. It wasn't bad writing. It just felt slow and like unnecessary because I knew it was gonna happen and nothing surprised me. So it just felt a little too long. And when we hear Atlas's wedding vows, okay, I get what Colleen Hoover was trying to do there, but it was so cringy to me. Atlas's vows are so cringy to me. Stop talking about divorce in your wedding vows, dude. No. Like, I get what you're saying, but no. Just stop. I didn't like it. As someone who's been divorced, and Lily has been divorced, don't bring that up at a wedding. Don't do it. Just no. And the ending line to the book, I was like, okay, that's really how we're ending this book? Okay. It just didn't land for me. But overall, I was satisfied with the book, but the ending was too long and a little cringy. Again, overall, a good book. The emotions were very realistic and true to my experience with very similar things. I thought it was portrayed well. Co-parenting, the challenges, definitely portrayed well. Starting a new relationship while trying to navigate an abusive relationship that you still have to maintain because you're co-parenting, like, all very realistic. And I did enjoy the book, and I'm glad that Atlas and Lily live happily ever after. That's what I wanted to have happen. So, like, it is satisfying. A little too long, maybe not necessary even as a whole, but it was entertaining, it was good, I liked it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we can chat more about It Starts With Us. I did start reading a new book. It's called One for the Murphys. It's by Linda Mullally Hunt. I barely started it, so I'm only like, I'm 17 pages in, so I don't have any thoughts yet on this, but you can watch for this to be coming in the future. That is all that I have for you guys today. Hit that like button and subscribe. You can also hype this video if you feel so inclined. That will help me reach more people. I would appreciate it. Thank you, and I hope you have a lovely week. I'll talk to you next Monday. Thanks for talking books with me.